Welcome to the most listened to golf in the world, the Fairways of Life show, on air, online, and around the world, with the most candid interviews, unforgettable stories, taking you beyond the ropes. Here's your host, New York Times best-selling author, Matt Adams.
What is going on, folks? Welcome into the Fairways of Life show. It is the PGA show week, and we're super pumped about it, as you can imagine. I'm sure you guys are, too, for everything that lies in store. It is demo day today. Now, it's raining outside. It's kind of cool by Florida standards. I was actually driving to the gym this morning. I was listening to the local news station, and I heard, they do like I don't know, I can't remember what news organization this particular radio station was associated with, but they dipped into, the national report. And they were talking about the weather that's going on around the world. And I'm bringing it up because, obviously, we're here in Florida for the PGA show, and they were talking about 6 inches of snow in Pensacola, Florida. Forecast. Can you believe that? Which I can only imagine what it's like in the other parts of the country in this, I forget what's it called, or polar vortex or something that sounds very ominous and frightening, but it's happening right now. So snow apparently on the way in Florida. But today, demo day, is an opportunity for the professionals in the golf industry to hit the product, to learn about the product. I'm not sure what's going to go on today with the amount of rain that they're getting, but I have a feeling that for professionals in the industry that have been bundled up for the last weeks and months, that they're going to be eager to be out there, and they're going to be out there no matter what. I can tell you we're going to be out there no matter what. We've got Golf Today coming up later on today, and myself and Bailey Chambly will be doing live reports from Demo Day. So our intent is to talk to as many people as possible, and that's an intent that's going to continue not only on today's Fairways of Life show, but throughout the course of the week. For example, tomorrow we're going to be live at 9 a.m. on FOL from inside of the Orange County Convention Center, talking about everything related to the game of golf. Yes, we're going deep on equipment and very much looking forward to that, but we'll also be talking about apparel. We'll be talking about where you'd like to go. What's your bucket list? Where's a trip that you want to make? So that's at 9 a.m. on Wednesday on the Fairways Life Show. Then 10 a.m. is when Golf Today kicks off tomorrow. And again, Bailey and myself will be doing reports for hours through that show, once again, canvassing the floor at the Orange County Convention Center, which exceeds over 1 million square feet of space, in which we're hoping to speak to as many people as we possibly can about everything that they have on offer at the 2025 PGA show. Cannot wait. Yesterday was a lot of fun. Thank you to everybody that was behind the Irish Golf Day. It was held at the Reunion Resort, and it's kind of this opportunity where the Irish golf trade comes together. And it's a celebration of everything that's going on in the world of golf relative to the Irish golf trade, but it's more than that. It's an opportunity, just like the PGA show is on a macro level, for best practices to talk about what's going well. It is put together each year by Swing Golf Ireland and then North and West Coast Links. Those also happen to be the two organizations that I use when we're planning our trips. We've got a huge one going up to Northwest Ireland, the end of April, beginning of May, and then into Northern Ireland. And when we go into Northern Ireland, aside from playing Royal County Down, we're also going to play Royal Portrush, of course, which is hosting the Open in 2025. And what's really fun about it is when we bring our group in, John McGinnis is going with me, who you know from radio work that he does and PGA Tour live television work that he does. I think he does some work for CBS as well. He does some work for Champs Tour, which is seen on Golf Channel, of course. And Johnny will be co-hosting that trip with me, and we are really looking forward to it. Because when you bring a group in to a venue that's hosting a major, and it's already fully dressed out for the major. It's only shortly before they're going to shut it down so that it's in pristine condition for the best in the world. But you're there, and the grandstands are surrounding you, and the leaderboards are up, and it's really, really cool. I don't know if there's any spots left in that because it's a big group. There may be some, so get in touch with us if you're interested in that. As to the golf industry itself, yesterday I was talking to you guys a lot about where the golf industry was from a demographic standpoint, where the golf industry was from the perspective of how it impacts all of you, or better put, how all of you impact the golf industry, because you guys are the lifeblood that make everything else, all of this work, all of it, right? And so that's why I was, when Derek Sprague was on with us yesterday, the incoming new CEO of the PGA of America, I was asking him the question about what role the PGA of America, who also are the people putting together the PGA show this week, ultimately, what role that they want to play for the game and for the people, because I think we need to know who speaks for the 99.99%. The numbers that I was giving you yesterday of 45 million, some updated numbers this morning look more like 47 million golfers in the game. Who's speaking for those people? There are golf, they call them governing bodies. Generally, that's defined by the four majors, the large tours, namely the PGA Tour in particular, etc. And we often hear the phrase being used about so-called golf's ecosystem. Well, generally, when you hear, at least in a business sense, an ecosystem, that's the status quo. That's the power structure that exists right now. And from my own personal part, I would love to hear one of those governing bodies, and I think the PGA of America is particularly positioned for this, representing some 30,000 PGA professionals who are in contact with you every day. They are, as I like to say, the sentries at the gate of the game. I'd like to hear one of those governing bodies go, yeah, we feel like it's our responsibility to be a voice in that room for those 45 million people, 47 million people. I think with all the things that are going on right now, it's important that you know who is your voice, who's representing you at these very high level and high stake conversations. So we'll see how that plays itself out. But the reason I'm mentioning all that was because I was talking about the massive numbers, and they are incredibly impressive with what's going on with the game. You can call it from the business side, but again, and honestly, I think it's more than that. It's your side. It's what you guys are doing. It's what you're involved in. But from a business perspective, which in a world that very much is defined by politics and influence and positioning, I think it's important for the world to know these numbers about the game of golf. And the golf industry currently represents $102 billion in direct economic impact in the United States. Think about that for 1 second. $102 billion in direct economic impact. The broader economic impact in the USA from the golf industry is $226.5 billion. $226.5 billion. And when you hear that, you go, okay, well, what does that mean? For example, real estate that's driven by a golf course, or hotel accommodations because of people coming to play a particular place, airline tickets that are purchased, et cetera, et cetera. So the broader economic impact, $226.5 billion. The jobs represented in the golf industry, 1.65 million. And what I'd love to do here for just a second is give you a comparison of other industries, in some cases, because it surprised me, I suspect it will you as well. I was shocked to find out that golf, as a business engine, employs more people. Here's some of those that I'm talking about. Again, the golf industry, 1.65 million. Let's say software industry, because it's massive in the USA, 1.6 million. Cooks, restaurants, 1.4 million. Finance managers, right? 837,000. Nurses, 292,000 in the USA. Construction labor, 1.4 million, smaller than the golf industry. Accountants, bookkeepers, 1.5 million. The golf industry is larger. Absolutely remarkable. All right, so as we have been promising you every moment since the PGA show week for us started in earnest yesterday, we are going to be talking about product. That's what we're here for. That's what we want to do. And when we come back, we're going to be touching base with Ping. Yeah, stand by, because Ping has some new things coming out in 2025 that I think you're going to be particularly interested in. I touched on this yesterday about frequency of when you might need another. That's the tease. Ping right after this break. Stay with us in the Fairways of Life show.
I got ball fit in 2000, went on a little run. Then Bridgestone fit me again, and I went on another run. I just got fit again for the new Tour BX. The ball fitting's been helping me. Will it help you?
Every January, PGA Tour Superstore pros meet every manufacturer, learn about the latest equipment, log thousands of hours of training, and together hit over 100,000 balls. All so they can get you the perfect fit.
When you choose Newton shafts, you're choosing more than a product. You're choosing innovation, pride, and excellence right here in America. We pay attention to the minutest of details, and you can feel that in the performance of our shafts.
I think when you're training for other sports, or why most people go to the gym is so that they can have muscles and be strong and be healthy. And a lot of the reason why they struggle to play golf is their body doesn't move properly for them to be able to hit a golf ball. And when you're training for golf, it's a little bit different because you're focused more on flexibility and mobility and being strong in motion. When you're able to kind of have a warm up and have a workout routine and kind of gradually build up to where you're training your body to move properly, yeah, you're going to get a lot of big dividends on the golf course.
Our journey began with a simple yet powerful vision to provide the world with the highest quality Virginia-type peanuts. The Hubbard Peanut Company, where quality and tradition meet to create an unforgettable experience. Visit hubspeanuts.com to explore our full range of products and place your order today.
Super easy to hit. Introducing the new PXG Black Ops irons, our first game improvement iron.
It's a larger face heel to toe.
It launches the ball high in the air and really far.
Much higher levels of forgiveness. You set that club down, creates a lot of confidence. It's supported by this X-Core polymer material.
And that's where you get improved ball speed. If you're looking for a distance, forgiveness, and feel, Black Ops iron is going to be for you.
PXG, nobody makes golf clubs the way we do, period.
Stride by Zero Friction, the first of its kind personal caddy. Walk in comfort and style with Stride's remote and follow me technology. The Stride handles almost any terrain, and its 54-hole range will last all day. The lightweight design and removable front wheels makes it simple to handle. Plus, it easily fits golf carts. Pick up your Stride today at a local PGA Tour Superstore near you or at zerofriction.com/Stride. Stride, your personal caddy.
Some of that video of the Irish golf day I was telling you about in the last segment. Just got this from Doc Hughes and was putting it all together. Yeah, it was cool. I know you're looking at this. You guys are knit caps in Florida. What are you guys, crazy? I think the wind chill by the end of the day was in the high 30s. But it was fun. It was a great time. Great to see everybody. Thanks once again to all who made that happen. Jacob Clark is the senior design engineer of Ping Golf. Jacob, I had a chance to see you out in Carlsbad a couple weeks ago. It's good to see you here officially as we get started with PGA Show Week. I know that you in particular and Ping as a company are really excited about what you guys are doing with your new wedges. You want to dive into that for us? Tell us about what you did, why you did it, and then we'll go down some particulars. Is that cool?
Yes, sir. It sounds great. Yeah, good to see you again. A little colder than it was last time we got together. But yeah, we're really excited. We launched S159 last year at the PGA show, and it's been really cool just to see the success across so many different levels, from out on tour with our staff of tour players, as well as just the everyday weekend golfers that you encounter. It's been really cool to see, just with the advancements that we've made in some of our like friction technologies, to see the improvement in performance around the greens. But also like just really being able to dial in a really good wedge fitting. I think that's something that's really difficult to do. And we launched the WebFit Wedge app, and it's been a great tool for us to kind of dive into a little bit more for people that can get a little bit overwhelmed and confused when it comes to learning about what bounce, what grind might be right for them. So yeah, it's been a great success so far, and really looking forward to carrying that momentum into 2025.
Jacob, tell us a little bit more, if you would, about the app and how the app works in terms of, I'll use your phrase, dialing in what loft and what bounce might be right for a particular golfer.
For sure. Yeah. Like I said, it was one of our goals in developing it was just trying to find a way to make a really complex topic simple for the average golfer. So it takes about 2 minutes to go through. And as you can kind of see from some of these prompts on screen, it asks some basic questions about your skill level, how far you hit your golf clubs. But then it also goes into like what the typical turf you play on is like. So whether it's the grass conditions, the bunker conditions, kind of bringing in those different variables, and then just some other preferences that players might have on their technique. And then I think one of the most important things, and that really drives the selection, is basically picking the highest priority for each wedge in the bag, and kind of giving each tool a use case and kind of a job. So once you get through all the way to the end of the app, it'll provide a primary and secondary recommendations for the grinds. But one of the cool things that it does is it utilizes a lot of our other algorithms that we have in Ping Copilot that provide some different gapping analysis as well. So it'll give those loft recommendations like you were mentioning. And it's just a really cool tool. It's like I said, hopefully make a really complex problem of what lofts do I need, what grinds do I need, and making that simple to where golfers can take. We have 6 different grinds offered in the lob wedge, and we can then narrow it down to 1 or 2 that they can then go test outside, hit some different shots around the greens, and be really confident in their decision.
Okay, Jacob, let me go 101 here for a second. Explain to the world, what is grind on a wedge?
Yeah, that is a great question. So the grind can be used in a lot of different ways. And I think one way that people like to look at it is more of like the shaping of the sole. Like if you look at the bottom of the golf club, like what shape do you see? But I really like one of the kind of silly analogies I like to use is if you were going to build a house and you were working with an architect and you said, hey, I want a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom house. And then you showed up on the day that you got there and it's like, oh, that's not what I was envisioning. There's a lot more that goes into the sole itself in terms of the shaping of the sole, the width of the sole in different sections, the bounce angle, the camber. There's a ton of different variables that you have to kind of dial in on each different design to have those matchups. But I think grind overall is more like, if we simplified it down to kind of its most basic nature, all we're really doing there is trying to create the bottom of the golf club that's going to give the golfer the most repeatable results on their vertical impact location. So we're just trying to have a really consistent impact location around groove 3, groove 4 on those little shots around the greens. And each different grind is going to match up with the player's delivery, golf course conditions, etc., to give them the best control and consistency in that strike location.
How important is it to get feedback from the best players in the world, the players in your stable, in terms of what grind options they want to utilize?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think one of the things that's really cool is all the players that we work with, whether it's PGA, LPGA, DP World, Korn Ferry, like you name it, they all have different preferences and different asks for what they want each wedge to do. So that's why we have such an expansive nature of our grind offering. So we have 6 in the lob wedges, and that's where we see the most variance of players wanting to do a little bit different things. And these shots are mostly hit at lower speed, so that sole can interact with the ground for a little bit longer. But yeah, like getting their feedback is huge. Like, well, a couple of years ago when we were working on S159, I was out at an event probably once a month, and we would print out basic prototypes of different head shapes with combinations of lead edge straightness, offset, overall head profiles. And we would kind of iterate through and get feedback from one player or another of like, okay, we like this part of it. Well, maybe we can change the hosel transition here. So yeah, it's huge to get that feedback, because if a player looks down at a wedge and they don't feel confident, then it's almost going to be a non-starter for them. Even if they perform well with it, it's really just going to kind of add some, a little bit of, I don't want to say just doubt that they have in their minds before they get started. So it's really important to get their feedback on those head shapes. And then from there, just really dialing in those grinds for them. And those kind of change for some of them on a week-to-week basis, just based on golf course conditions, where they're going, any other work that they're doing with their coaches to try and improve their short game. So it's an ever-changing process, and it's a really fun one to tackle.
All right, so when you talk about grind, you've kind of already covered this, but for the purpose of clarity, I want to go down this road nonetheless. Could you also discuss with us the understanding of what bounce is right, first of all, in general, based upon any player, particularly amateur players, but also in case-specific situations, say out of soft sand bunkers?
Sure, 100%. Yeah, so typically what we'll see is in those softer conditions, I think we think about different bounce profiles. All we're trying to do is solve different problems. So in those softer conditions, the tendency is generally for players to hit it slightly higher on the face, because that club's going to get into the ground easier. What a higher bounce wedge does is it helps prevent that club from getting in the ground as easy. So it's going to bring that strike location a little bit lower on the face to a more optimal spot. And then conversely, you have a low bounce wedge. You can have low bounce wedges that play really low bounce when they're square face, or really low bounce when they're open. So it really just depends on the individual use cases. But typically you would see, like when you get into those firmer conditions, Open Championship or Masters, for example, just depending on how they have that turf cut, players will typically gravitate towards something lower bounce, just because they're looking to generate a little bit more height out of some different scenarios. So those firmer packed bunkers, it's definitely easier to create more height, get the club under the ball a little bit better with that lower bounce sole, whether it comes from the actual angle of the sole or just the overall width of it.
All right, so let's continue down this road. People are trying to figure out what grind is best for them, what bounce is best for them. They're also trying to figure out what loft is best for them. All considerations when people come in and they look at an array of product that's available in a golf shop. Take us down the road with loft in terms of the considerations, whether in the app or in person when you're working with someone, that they should take into consideration before.
Yeah, that's a great question. So the way I typically approach fittings with our players is I look more at their highest lofted wedge, is what are we going to do with this wedge green side? And then from there, we can kind of determine if 58 or 60 or even 62 in some situations is going to give them the best chance to utilize that wedge well. And then from there, it's like you think about it, it's a little bit easier to control the trajectory with like a 58 degree versus a 62, just because it's not as you get into the weeds as much as you want, but when it comes to like the spin loft that you're delivering that golf club, the higher lofted it is, the more almost chaotic it is, to where slight changes in conditions can almost influence the ball to launch higher with a little bit less spin. So a 58 degree is going to be a little bit more stable in terms of the spin loft. So some players might enjoy that, but then others are going to gravitate more towards a higher lofted and the ability to just create height around the greens. And after the lob wedge, I start to focus a bit more on the gapping side of things from there. So just making sure that we have wedges that optimally hit the numbers that we need to help create those nice equal space gaps between either their set pitching wedge or their 9-iron, whatever that club may be, and then progress it well into the rest of their set. Some players use their 60 or 58 from everywhere inside of 70, 80, 90 yards. And they hit all the shots with it. But then you have other players that like to chip with their 54 or 56 and utilize that for some different shots. So we've got to make sure that from a grind standpoint, we have that built in to where they have the flexibility to hit those shots. And then after that, we're just confirming overall distance numbers to make sure that they're really repeatable and consistent in the rest of their iron set.
All right, let's turn the club over for a second, because especially when we're talking about ping, and the revolutionary advancements that your company made over the decades in groove technology. Talk to us about the grooves on this wedge series and how and why they're different and or better.
For sure. Yeah. So we launched the Micromax groove, which is our tightest space groove. And this is we spent so much time working on this groove design, and there's a great team at the office in Phoenix that are just experts in friction. One guy in particular, his name's Daniel Ura. He's been a huge addition to our team, and he spends a ton of time just diving into the little nuances of friction and how can we make impact more repeatable. So he was a key cog in developing this Micromax groove. That basically what it is it's a very tightly spaced groove. And through all of our research and studying across a variety of different conditions, lies, we found that it was not only one of the highest spinning grooves from a dry condition, but that it created the most repeatable and predictable trajectories from whether you're playing early in the morning with a little dew on the golf ball, first cut of rough. It does the best job of creating those consistent launch windows. And I think that's something you hear players say all the time is like, oh yeah, it hits my window. What we're able to do with that groove and that tighter spacing and those higher lofted wedges is allow players to hit their window more frequently. So we utilize that groove in our 54 through 62 degree wedges. And you look at the use cases for those are mostly going to be used around the greens. And when you look at those different scenarios, there's a lot more variety in terms of rough and lies that you'll experience. So that's the groove that we chose for those because it created the most repeatable launch conditions. And that was something that was really important for us. And it's something our tour players definitely notice when they move from a previous generation of product, that it's really yields that predictable trajectory around the greens. And I think that's the name of the game for those guys.
What is your thoughts, Jacob, just to kind of wrap up here, because it's a constant discussion for us about frequency of how long you should hold on to or trade out, trade up to a new wedge. Is there a general guideline?
For sure. Yeah. And I think what we typically see if we were starting from like a tour level, I would say the average tour player probably gets a new lob wedge 4 to 6 times a year, just depending on the player. And then it kind of tapers out from there to where they're either their 54 or 56, and then their gap wedge, they're replacing those 2 to 3 times a year. So I think for the average player, that kind of your weekend golfer, I'd say like every other year is a really good cadence. I think you kind of look at the use cases. If you're hitting a lot of balls out of bunkers and doing a lot of practice there, then that's obviously going to wear down those wedges a little bit faster. So if anything, I would say just err on the side of replacing the lob wedge a bit more frequently than the rest of the ones in the set, just because you're relying more on that golf club to generate spin on some lower speed shots, and it can make a huge difference. That's where, like, if you're kind of testing, I wouldn't test your lob wedge to see if it's worn out off of a fairway lie, because the grooves aren't really going to come into play that much there. But go get in the first cut of rough and see if you start to see balls that launch really high, don't have a lot of spin, and that's just going to be a good indicator that it's time to get a new lob wedge.
Jacob, it's awesome stuff. We were deep on wedges today, folks. I hope you had enjoyed this opportunity to speak to someone at his level of expertise. Jacob is the senior design engineer for Ping Golf. We'll see you inside of the Orange County Convention Center in just a few hours. Jacob, appreciate the time that you gave us this morning.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. Have a good show this week.
Thank you, my friend. All right, folks, when we come back on the Fairways of Life show, you remember yesterday when I was talking about you walk into a golf shop, right? Like, say, a PGA Tour Superstore, because their offerings of golf balls are massive. I was saying metaphorically, miles of golf balls. Which one is right for you? How do you know? How do you choose? What's the real technology behind golf balls? We're going to talk about that as the Fairways of Life show continues when we're joined by Callaway. Stay with us.
In Ireland, golf is more than just a game. Come and experience our world-famous links courses and our world-famous Parkland courses, all set alongside world-famous scenery. And visit our world-famous historic sites And while you're here, enjoy our world-famous hospitality. Fill your heart with Ireland at ireland.com/golf.
Ben Hogan Golf Equipment is back. Established in 1953, we serve golfers who demand excellence of their equipment. Designed by the game's best engineers, forged in the world's best foundries, and built to order in the USA. Don't settle for off-the-rack disappointment. Elevate your game with custom clubs at direct-to-consumer pricing. Exclusively at benhogangolf.com. That's benhogangolf.com.
The best feeling iron I've ever hit. Introducing the new Gen 7 irons, the greatest leap forward in irons technology, in performance, in PXG history. Our new quantum core material explodes off the face. Are you kidding me? The Gen 7 irons deliver groundbreaking new levels of forgiveness, speed, distance, and feel. That's what I'm talking about right there. Look at that trajectory. Just phenomenal. Gen 7, it doesn't get any better.
PXG, nobody makes golf clubs the way we do, period.
Baseball? Nah. Football? Done it. I think I'm going to go after PGA Tour.
Playing on the PGA Tour is not easy. But you know what is easy? Hitting the 524 series from Tour Edge.
Hitting linebackers and home runs used to be easy.
Out here, you're going to need all the easy you can get. Introducing the 524 series from Tour Edge. The easiest clubs you'll ever hit. Even the best players in the world can use a little easy.
I like the sound of that. Look out, PGA Tour.
Pound for pound, nothing comes close.
What would your ultimate golf experience be like? Just you and a friend? Or would you round up some buddies for a foursome? Just one day? Or an entire week? There's a good chance your ultimate golf experience could be Michigan's magnificent 10. 10 incredible courses set among 3 remarkable resorts. See for yourself. Book your ultimate golf experience today.
Our journey began with a simple yet powerful vision to provide the world with the highest quality Virginia-type peanuts. The Hubbard Peanut Company, where quality and tradition meet to create an unforgettable experience. Visit hubspeanuts.com to explore our full range of products and place your order today.
Every January, PGA Tour Superstore pros meet every manufacturer, learn about the latest equipment, log thousands of hours of training, and together hit over 100,000 balls. All so they can get you the perfect fit.
When you choose Newton shafts, you're choosing more than a product. You're choosing innovation, pride, and excellence right here in America. We pay attention to the minutest of details, and you can feel that in the performance of our shafts.
Oh yeah, we're talking about golf balls here in the Fairways of Life show. PGA show week today is officially demo day. We will have live reports coming up a little bit later on during golf today. Myself and Bailey Chambly, please join us for that. Very excited about that. So too about the conversation that we are about to engage in. Jason Finley is the global golf ball director for Callaway Golf. Jason, welcome to the show, my man. This is a big week for Callaway. How pumped up are you guys?
We're excited. We got a lot of exciting new products and really looking forward to it. This is kind of the kickoff of the season for us.
All right, let's jump into these new products. Let's talk about, Jason, I like to call it a symphony of technology in golf balls, that you have these different layers, you have these different elements, and while they're working with the rest of the technology, sometimes they're working in direct contrast to in order to get a dynamic performance. Could you talk to us about what your philosophy is, where you guys are going, and then we'll break down these golf ball styles and models individually?
Yeah, I think you're right. Across the board, obviously our goal is to create the highest performing products regardless of the type of player that the product's for or the model, right? So we want to have top to bottom the best performing products, and that comes to life in many different ways, kind of depending on what the player is looking for in their game. And it's really important to make sure that you have the best performance that you're willing really to spend money on, and you're going to get different technologies based on the different products, and they're going to deliver different outcomes. and each of the pieces of a golf ball, if you will, are all about evaluating kind of the different trade-offs or performance characteristics that you're driving towards.
Okay, let's talk about some of the performance characteristics, because I know that they are broken down into the respective models that we're discussing today. What is new? What's happening in 2025? What are you going to deliver to the golfers of the world? And I would ask you here, because we want to go deep. Take your time, go through each one of these models so that we can understand what the technology is and who it applies for.
Yeah, so starting from the top of our lineup, we have our Chrome Tour lineup of products, which came out in 2024, and we will continue with Chrome Tour and Chrome Tour X, but we have a new addition this year with Chrome Tour Triple Diamond, which is really a unique product geared towards that higher swinging player that's looking for a lower spin profile. It's going to be really fast, arguably the fastest kind of tour ball on the market, so it's going to really provide that enhanced distance that you're looking for, while still having the characteristics of a tour ball with the spin and control of the tour urethane cover around the green. And all of our Chrome line of golf balls will also feature our seamless Tour Aero technology, which is going to deliver a much more consistent ball flight and consistent kind of distance dispersion, I would say, as well, which is going to give the golfer more consistency in their game, which, if you start to think about some of the strokes gain stats and things like that, are going to be really important for that as well. So that's at the kind of top end of our range. And then as we move into our soft platform, that's really led by the Chrome Soft that will continue in 2025. And then we have some new additions with the new ERC Soft golf ball, which you can see on the screen there. This is going to be the first golf ball that we really fully have leveraged artificial intelligence in the design of the product, and really got an exciting product that will not make that trade-off of trading off distance for enhanced control around the green. So a really long golf ball for players, but it's also going to have significantly enhanced spin and control around the green with a softer cover working in concert with a really firm mantle layer and a really soft inner core as well. So overall, a really exciting new product for us. And then our next product that I think is really important. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was going to ask you about the Super Soft. You're going down that road.
Yeah, that's where I'm going next, is the new Super Soft, which, has been a really popular ball for us, and people love it. And, as you can see, there comes in a pretty wide variety of options. And, as we think about this product, this is going to be a product that's going to be the softest, certainly in our lineup, but probably in the industry as well. And that's going to provide a lot of benefits for the player that, may have a slightly lower swing speed, may, miss it around the face a little bit more. So it's going to have tremendous feel, even on those miss hits. So, we all are probably a little more familiar than we want to be with those, particularly on cold mornings where, you miss hit a shot and that harsh feeling. You're not going to get that here with the Super Soft, and with its low spin profile, it's going to have a really straight ball flight for a lot of players, again, with that really soft feel.
Okay, so Jason, first of all, let me diverge for just 1 second, because you mentioned cold mornings, and the vast majority of our audience is, I think, tucked in under a blanket of snow. Is it true that the night before, you're going to play golf, it's going to be cold when you go out, you're better off keeping your golf balls in the house, you're better off keeping them inside, you're better off keeping them warm so that they'll perform better when you get out on the golf course? True, or is that a myth?
Yeah, I don't know about warm necessarily, but like a room temperature would certainly be better, right? It's not going to feel as harsh, and while the performance won't be significantly different, the feel of them will. It's like anything, right? When you have a little warmth, it's going to be a little bit better. So, I would always say, if you are going out on a cold morning, not to keep them in your trunk or something like that.
What's the biggest misunderstanding with golf balls amongst golfers?
Well, I'll tell you, the worst thing that I hear is when you ask somebody what golf ball they play and they say, "Oh, the one I found in the woods." I would say for golfers, and obviously I would much prefer it to be a Callaway, but I would always prefer that or recommend a player to play the same golf ball, whatever they do, right? Because there are differences between balls. You heard me talking about just a few in our lineup, but that exists with the competition as well. And, the whole point of us playing this game is to bring more consistency, to, play better, to beat our friends, whatever it may be, and to bring more consistency to your game through the same golf ball is going to be super, super important. So the next thing I would say would be to, when you get fit for golf clubs, ideally you get fit with the same golf ball that you play, if not at least something close, right? Like I would say that, if I walk in and you fit me, just thinking about our lineup, with a super soft today and you fit me, and then I walk in tomorrow and you fit me with a Chrome Tour X, which are about the ends of our spectrum, if I get fit into the same golf clubs, it probably wasn't a very good fit. So it's really important to bring more of that consistency to your game.
All right, what about the best players in the world? What is it like when you're working with your stable and ensuring that from the array of golf balls that you have, maybe it's the Chrome Tour, I don't know, but what do you go through in that whole process?
Yeah, so it's really understanding the needs and what's important to their game. And I would say, frankly, that's important with tour players, but it also is with everyday golfers, right? So I think it's one of two things. It's either maximizing the areas that you're good at, or trying to solve maybe an area that you have less skill in, right? So with tour players in particular, it's, understanding what's most important to their game and, how they want to hit shots as they move around the golf course. So for some, that's, maximizing the spin so they can, hit more, I'd say, controlled shots, particularly in the conditions that they play, firmer greens, more tuck pins than probably the rest of us do. But some also want to be more in control when they're taking spin off of shots, where some want to hit more full shots as they move around the golf course. So it's really understanding kind of how the different players play and what's important to their game, or most important to their game.
Some of the beauty shots, as we call it in the business, that we've been showing you for golf balls show an array of colors. How important are optics right now to golf ball offerings?
It's super important. And if you look through our lineup, obviously, like in Super Soft, we have 9 different varieties, and the ERC Soft, as you see there, we have 4. And what I would say is the visual presentation of golf balls has pretty dramatically changed through the years. And part of that's just to address different desires from people to stand out and look a little different. You see it in what people wear too. But part of it is what I would call functional technology as well. So we're really big on no decoration just for the sake of decoration. They all have functional benefits to them as well. So whether it's our True Track technology or Triple Track technology, which aid in alignment. You can see that there on the screen. There's definitely a benefit to the golfer who's looking for more enhanced ability to help line up their products and things like that. So we've seen great success with that. And I would say we sell more golf balls that are non-traditional, in the sense of traditional being just white standard golf balls, than we do that are not.
Jason Finley is the Global Golf Ball Director for Callaway Golf. Jason, awesome. Thank you very much for your time. How excited are you? How excited is Callaway for their golf ball offerings in 2025?
Super excited. We're on a pretty good trajectory with what we've done in this category. And for us here at Callaway, it's a category where we're really committed to. We made a lot of investment as well with what we've done in our plants around the world, and really excited about what's to come for Callaway golf balls.
All right, my friend, thank you very much. We wish you the very best with all of that. Tomorrow, folks, in the Fairways of Life show, when we are coming to you from inside of the Orange County Convention Center from 9 a.m. right here on Golf Channel, we're going to dive deep into more Callaway products because there's so much buzz surrounding the new Callaway Elite driver. We're going to find out why it is elite tomorrow when we talk about that and more. The Fairways of Life show continues, and when we come back, you need to take the weight off your shoulders. You need to take the weight off your back. Why not have your bag carry your clubs for you instead of the other way around? What? We'll have it for you after this. Stay with us.
I got ball fit in 2000, went on a little run. Then Bridgestone fit me again, and I went on another run. I just got fit again for the new Tour BX. The ball fitting's been helping me. Will it help you?
What would your ultimate golf experience be like? Just you and a friend? Or would you round up some buddies for a foursome? Just one day? Or an entire week? There's a good chance your ultimate golf experience could be Michigan's magnificent 10. 10 incredible courses set among 3 remarkable resorts. See for yourself. Book your ultimate golf experience today.
I think when you're training for other sports, or why most people go to the gym is so that they can have muscles and be strong and be healthy. And a lot of the reason why they struggle to play golf is their body doesn't move properly for them to be able to hit a golf ball. And when you're training for golf, it's a little bit different because you're focused more on flexibility and mobility and being strong in motion. When you're able to kind of have a warm up and have a workout routine and kind of gradually build up to where you're training your body to move properly, yeah, you're going to get a lot of big dividends on the golf course.
Super easy to hit. Introducing the new PXG Black Ops irons, our first game improvement iron.
It's a larger face heel to toe.
It launches the ball high in the air and really far.
Much higher levels of forgiveness. You set that club down, creates a lot of confidence. It's supported by this X-Core column material.
And that's where you get improved ball speed. If you're looking for a distance, forgiveness, and feel, Black Ops iron is going to be for you.
PXG, nobody makes golf clubs the way we do, period.
Stride by Zero Friction, the first of its kind personal caddy. Walk in comfort and style with Stride's remote and follow me technology. The Stride handles almost any terrain, and its 54-hole range will last all day. The lightweight design and removable front wheels makes it simple to handle. Plus, it easily fits golf carts. Pick up your Stride today at a local PGA Tour Superstore near you or at zerofriction.com/Stride. Stride, your personal caddy.
Every January, PGA Tour Superstore pros meet every manufacturer, learn about the latest equipment, log thousands of hours of training, and together hit over 100,000 balls. All so they can get you the perfect fit.
As we welcome you back to the Fairways of Life show, it is PGA Show Week. We're underway, folks. Today is demo day. And yeah, it's wet early. But this afternoon, the rain is supposed to let up enough that I can guarantee you that the driving range at Orange County National, remember, this is an industry show. This is a private show. But there's still going to be tens of thousands of industry professionals there. Estimated, over 30,000 that will be checking out everything that will define the game of golf, at least from an equipment standpoint, yes, but it's more than that, as I keep telling everybody. I know Bailey will be focusing a lot, in particular, on the fashion side of the game, because that's another huge part of the golf industry. So anyway, our reports are going to kick off today, during Golf Today, and running right up through Golf Central and beyond. We'll let you know everything that's going on around the PGA show. Tomorrow, the Fairways of Life show will be live from inside of there. That's the Orange County Convention Center. This was it yesterday. That's actually our Fairways of Life stage in its early stages, obviously. Dom showed me this yesterday. I was like, dude, that's it? Yeah, it hadn't been built yet, but it's by the time we get in there tomorrow morning, we go on the air at 9 a.m. right here, you will be able to see everything that's going on inside of the convention hall. The convention hall is over 1.1 million square feet of space. Think about that for a second. That's how big it is. That's how exciting it is. We cannot wait. What's happening in the game of golf right now? In last year, the last full reporting year was 2023, and we'll get the results for 2024 in another probably 2 months when they're all fully tabulated. So the last time we have recording data, 500 million plus rounds in each of the last 4 years. Our last recording year was 531 million rounds. That was an all-time record, as you can imagine. The overall reach of golf in the United States is estimated at 123 million. We've got all kinds of data that Andrew's putting up on your screen that you can peruse through as you please here. Now, that 123 million in the USA, that's defined by playing on and off course. That's defined by maybe you follow golf on TV. Maybe you read about the game from all sources. Listening or watching, say, a golf podcast or golf information or golf entertainment consumed online or streaming content. There's 45 million souls that played the game of golf, club in hand, hit a ball that's either on course or off course. And it's significant because in the last year, it was the first year that it's starting to switch. Globally, there's more people playing the game of golf off course. You're talking about simulators, entertainment venues, etc. But then those also become a feeder system to people ascending to playing the game on course as well. 3.5 million juniors in the game. That's a 40% increase over 2019. Think about that for a second. And that gain represents the largest gain of any individual category. This is what I mean about how it is absolutely exploding. And of that junior number, 37% are female. It was 15% female 25 years ago. Very, very exciting stuff. Female golfers, just speaking of that, they represent 41% of all new golfers coming into the game. I still think as a game, we have a challenge in retaining new golfers as they come in and retaining those junior golfers once they have discovered the game. And a lot of that comes down to those of us who are already in the game and playing the game, enjoying the game, to make sure we make people feel welcome. John Econo is the president of Zero Friction. John has been a longtime member of the Fairways of Life family because his products are so unique. So, John, in the minutes that we have here, first of all, good day to you. Welcome PGA Show Week. Could you explain to the world who Zero Friction is?
Matt, good morning, and thank you for having me on the show. I appreciate it. Zero Friction is a very innovative company. We started out in golf tees with our three-pronged performance golf tee, where we garnered, we've had over 100 PGA Tour professional wins with our tees. You get a lot more ball-to-face contact with the tee because we eliminate 66% of the tee surface coverage obstructing the ball. So we did that, and then we moved on to the one-size compression fit golf glove, which has just been a sensational product for us. And I was listening to you telecasting on the growth in juniors. Our junior glove sales are just skyrocketing, as is our ladies, evident to the 37% of ladies playing golf today. In fact, our ladies' golf gloves equal our total men's gloves sales because we make gloves in fashion colors. So the ladies in particular like to buy more than one glove at a time, thank God. and so they're buying a lot of gloves. And so we do that. And now we've come out with the electronic trolley, the Stride, which is a sensational product. And yeah, there
Folks,
it is.
Look at
Thank
this
you
thing.
for that. It's just so cool. It's so cool. And we're really getting it into the marketplace right now. And it's just been fantastic. And we've got some great colors in these. We have a lavender, a Carolina blue, the gray, the black. Well, the beauty of this product, Matt, is that it follows you, as you could see in the video, and it stays a safe distance behind you. But you could speed it up, slow it down, and schedule it to your own stride that you walk. It has a UBS port there. That's a 6-pack cooler. It has magnets on both sides at the upper portion of the bag for you to put a laser on one side and a music speaker on the other. It's completely self-contained. And the best part, Matt, is that the wheels on the front come off in 2 seconds, and the rear cantilever wheel recesses into the back of the bag, and it fits on the back of a motor cart. It's no different in size than a cart bag. So sensational product. We've got 2 new versions coming out mid-year. We've got the Trek, which is our original manual push trolley that started us into this whole category, and we've sold out of version 1. And we learned a lot from version 1, and we're making version 2 even better. And we did great with version 1, but version 2, we listened to consumers, we tweaked some things. It's going to be fantastic. And then we have the terrain coming out, which is a think of a power lawnmower where the wheels engage when you push. So this is a power assist version. Again, a golf bag that is your electric trolley. Once you push it, it just goes. And so it's a power assist version. So we've basically taken all three, manual trolley, power assist trolley, and fully autonomous remote trolley, and built them all into golf bags. I just love them. I use my Stride all the time. It's fantastic.
You could tell that John is broadcasting to us live from inside of the Orange County Convention Center. We're going to be there tomorrow morning live on the Fairways Live Show from 9 a.m. Eastern Time right here on Golf Channel, bringing you all the sights and sounds.
Yeah.
And then Bailey and myself will be doing reports on Golf Today. We will also be doing that today from Demo Day.
Great.
John, it's great to see you, my man. Andrew, let's go to the video of the Stride as we thank John for being on the show. And I got to tell you guys, mark me on this. I've been telling John what he needs to do is get like an opaque material with a really light blue trim and make that Stride look a little bit like a suggestion of R2-D2, right? Not saying we're copying anything, just a little bit like it. I see you laughing on my screen, John. Good to see you, my friend. We'll see you in a few hours inside of the convention hall. Folks, very much looking forward to continuing our coverage of all things PGA Show Week as we continue. Have a great one. Bye for now.